Okay, good day, mates. Perry United Soccer, lockdown day 3, coming at you from Sydney, Australia, home of the Socceroos. Decided to take our talents down to Australia after spending a couple days in that bad weather in England, so we could get a little rest and relaxation on the lovely beach here behind us. Groovy Gorilla's been doing some snorkeling, found a few coconuts. It's been a good couple days. But back to work. So today, once again, I've got my helpers. I got Minnie Mo Salah, and I got Groovy Gorilla. And today we're going to be doing a juggling tutorial. So I've got all the kiddos who are on my teams while we're on break trying to double their juggle count while we're on break. So I challenge everybody out there to do the same. So we're going to do a little juggling tutorial today. And then Groovy Girl found some toilet paper. Apparently it's scarce down here in Australia, so he's keeping a hold of his pretty tight. So, okay, you guys ready? Let's head down to the studio and get started. Okay, now we're down in the studios. Before we get started on our juggling today, juggling is a very, very important skill. All the best players in the world can juggle. And they practice their juggling every day. Probably before every game, before every practice, they'll be juggling a little bit. So we're going to work on our juggling today. You'll notice that the guys behind me, Minnie Mo and Groovy Gorilla, are not holding soccer balls today. They're holding balloons. So we start with balloons today, so the youngest kids can play. That's, even 2- and 3-year-olds can start juggling. So let's go ahead and start. You guys just start juggling your balloons. Go ahead. All right, and what this does is you can create really good habits when you're juggling balloons. You'll see that as they're juggling, I'll get my head out of the way, they're moving their feet. You're not standing in one spot. You're moving to the ball, in this case the balloon, every time. All right, the other thing you want to work on is always hitting the ball with the laces of your foot towards your toe. Not your toe, but towards your toe and your foot. Just keep it up in the air. And there's some things you can do to make it a little bit harder as you're working on your juggling. One thing you can do is when you're juggling, you try to keep it below your head. So when you're juggling, don't let it go above your head. That's more like juggling in real life with a soccer ball. And then the other thing you can do is use balloons with a different amount of air in it. You can see Groovy Gorilla's got one that's full of air back there. All right, because he's beginning and it takes him a little bit more time to find that balloon. Where Minnie Mo's got a smaller balloon, all right, and he's a little bit more advanced. And as you get better, you can start using smaller and smaller balloons. So good job, guys. Now, before we get going any further, juggling can be really like a mental thing. So don't worry about trying to beat your score every time you go out and work on juggling. It's more about just creating that muscle memory. And you'll get better over a period of time. Maybe not every day you beat your score, your juggle count, but over a period of time you'll get better as your muscles start to remember how to move to juggle. So, all right, guys, put the balloons away. Get your soccer balls. Okay, so we'll start off with level 1. All right, we'll just break it down. So you'll drop the ball, and you let it bounce, and try to kick it up and catch it. All right, so we're going to use our hands. Just try to kick it up and catch it. Don't let the ball go above your head if you can. Of course, the shorter you are, the harder that is. What you want to try to do as you're juggling is strike the ball with the top of your foot and put a little bit of backspin on it. All right, and that's what will help you once you start juggling a little bit more. So the other thing you got to make sure you always do with juggling is work both feet. I know some people out there, I won't say any names, that can juggle a ton, but they're always using one body part or one leg or they're just the right foot or their left foot, and they'll just crank them out. But you really want to start using both feet because you're developing soccer skills and you got to be able to use both feet. So if you find that you're weaker with one foot, just work with that foot for a few times. All right? You can just keep hitting my left foot because my left foot is terrible most of the time. Yep. So you just keep doing that for a while until you're comfortable. All right, and we'll go to level 2. All right. All we're going to do now is take the bounce out. Yeah. All right. So it's the same thing. Make sure you get that little bit of backspin. Okay. You want to be light on your feet, on your toes. Pop it up. Catch it. There you go. Try to keep it below your head. Good. Good, and this is probably the closest replication to juggling, because you want that little bit of backspin on the ball. And you really want to work both feet again. If you want to use one foot for a while, great. Work on that weak foot. Good. And then, keep going, obviously. Oh, yeah. That happens too when you're playing in the house sometimes. Okay, so now we'll go to 2 juggles. So you can go left foot, right foot. Boom. Oh, look at that. I need to work on my juggling. Alright, so you can go left foot, try to go left foot, or right foot, left foot. But and then catch. Always make sure you're working both feet. Alright, so right foot, left foot, right foot. Okay? And just keep working that. So that's the next stage. Okay, good stuff. Alright, hold your ball. So now we're going to go to your thighs. Alright, this is probably easy. You see a lot of people can just crank off juggles with their thighs. Alright, that's a good thing to work on as well. So, we'll start off the same way. Alright, you can just juggle once and catch it. Use both thighs. What you want to try to do is get that thigh so it's flat. Alright, and it's going to pop it up in the air. Straight up. Alright, make sure you're working both. Alright, and then when you get good at that, maybe do 2. 1, 2, catch. Left, right, catch. Right, left, catch. And just keep going like that. Good? Good job, keep going. How's it going? Not so good, huh? It's alright. For a little bit of hard work, we'll get back to maybe a little more swimming later. Enjoying Australia. Good job, Minnie Mo. Looking good today. Still rocking that Liverpool jersey. Good job. Okay, so that's the first part's about juggling. Now you want to try to usually get down here, put it all together. Use all your body parts and see if you can beat that record. Like I said, that's your challenge. Whatever your record is, try to double it at least before we're all able to get back together, and then you can show your friends. We can see who can do the most juggles. But keep working on this. You guys got anything today? Yeah, look, they're tired again. Okay, so we'll see you tomorrow. What are we doing tomorrow? Anybody know?
Dribbling.
We'll come up with some. Ooh, dribbling. I like that. Maybe tomorrow we'll work on some skills. All right. And then sometime, maybe in a few weeks, we'll work on some new juggling skills, some different ways to pick the ball up off the ground. So that's called a teaser. Whoa! We lost one of our balloons.